Okay, so one of our first activities in our lesson today is for us to go over what our groups saw and discussed last class in Helena's speech here in Act 3, Scene 2. So let me walk you through some of the things that I hope you and your group notice. If not, you will notice them now. So what I want you to notice there are similes, personification, and hyperbole. So there was a little preview slide for what a hyperbole is. A hyperbole is an exaggeration. So let's dig into a couple of the things in the text that I wanted you to see. So first off, lo, she is one of this confederacy, this team. Now I perceive they have conjoined all three to fashion this false sport in spite of me. Lots of F's and S's, some good alliteration here. I wasn't focusing on that, but fashion this false sport in spite of me. Ooh, very spitty, very right? Angry letters. Injurious Hermia, most ungrateful maid, have you conspired? Have you with these contrived to bait me with this foul derision? Is all the counsel that we two have shared, the sisters' vows, the hours that we have spent when we have chid the hasty-footed time for parting us? Here is our first personification. Time is being turned into a person who's very fast. A fast runner, hasty-footed, fast-footed, good runner. So if time is hasty-footed, that means time goes really fast, yeah? So she's remembering how when they used to hang out, time would go so fast, they would get angry at time for being so fast and making them separate before they were ready and go home and stop hanging out. So we are personifying time as a fast person, and when you want them to not go so fast because you want to continue to hang out with your best friend, you're angry, you are scolding time. How dare you make us go home and not be hanging out together? So that's our first personification. What does it tell us that she's saying time is fast? Why would she personify time as someone fast? Why not say slow-footed time? What does that tell us about their friendship when they were kids, or their friendship until she feels betrayed at this moment? Think for a second or click pause. All right, so what does that tell us? It tells us when time goes fast, you feel you're really happy. You're enjoying hanging out with somebody. So if time was too fast, then we're saying, oh, we loved hanging out together. We were such good friends. We loved spending time together. And chiding, we were scolding, we were mad at time. How dare you separate us? Yeah? Okay. Next up, it says, oh, is all forgot. All school days friendship, childhood innocence. We, Hermia, like two artificial gods. Simile, we were like two gods. Okay, why? What were we doing? With our needles, and you remember we're talking about embroidery here. Embroidery. They are stitching embroidery together. Have with our needles created both one flower, both on one sampler, sitting on one cushion, both warbling of one song, both in one key, as if our hands, our sides, voices, and minds had been incorporate. So why did she call she and Hermia artificial gods? It's an interesting question. Okay, hit pause, think of your answer, and then hit play. So, to me, it's this idea that we were like, I don't know, we were like all our friendship made us like super powerful. We could make things, we could control the world of embroidery because we were like, our love was so strong as friends. And it's like we had been melded into one person, which is somewhat magical. Again, gods are things that are worshipped, are, held up on high, and their friendship was so amazing, like a god. Okay. I also love how many times the word Helena says one. Why would she say one so many times? There's another choice. It's not a poetic device, but it is a choice Shakespeare made to have her say the word one so many times. Think about it, click pause, and when you're ready, click play. So I think this idea of one, it's like they were so tight, they were so bonded and united. And this was an unbreakable friendship. Hence, the betrayal is so much more vile that Helena feels. So we grew together, like to a double cherry, seeming parted, but yet a union in partition. We were like one of those cherries where the two cherries grow connected. So they were like bonded. They were completely connected, read each other's minds, best friendship ever. And then she continues, two lovely berries molded on one stem, so with two seeming bodies but one heart. Two of the first, like crowns and heraldry. Let's skip that one, the coats and heraldry. She's talking about coat of arms, the idea that like we were on one coat of arms. We were two of the first, like coats and heraldry, duba to one and crown with one crest. So like I wonder if she means like we had the same coat of arms, right? We were the coat of arms of one family. And then she says, and will you rent our ancient love asunder? Ooh, really good poetic device. This is the new one that I taught you today, hyperbole. Okay, before I explain why it's a hyperbole, do you see why it's a hyperbole? There's a word in that line that is the word that makes it a hyperbole. Pause if you need to and take a look at the line I've highlighted. When you're ready, click play. All right, the word is ancient. Ancient love. Okay, what are they? 16, 17, 18? In Shakespearean England, these girls were probably more 14 to 18. Let's call them 18 in our lives. Fine, 18 to 20. Ancient, 18 years, ancient love. Have they known each other since birth? Right? Hard to know. So our love is so old. You have betrayed the most ancient friendship. Yes? It is not to join with men in scorning your poor friend. It is not friendly. 'Tis not maidenly. Our sex, as well as I, may chide you for it, meaning all girls, all women. Okay. I think this could be a couple different poetic devices. Our gender, all women, in addition to me, could yell at you for this. That's my paraphrase. All the people in our gender, women, in addition to me, could yell at you for this, though I alone to feel the injury. I think I see two potential poetic devices here. Hit pause, see if you think you can guess what they are. Okay, so suddenly, a gender is chiding, is yelling at, is scolding. That's not really possible. First of all, gender is not a person. It's 4 billion people on the planet, so no. So that's, I would say, personification, because suddenly all women are like one person, personified. And is it an exaggeration? Hyperbole? Every woman, all girls could be mad at you for this. Maybe. I would take either. I think they're both interesting. Yeah? All right, there we go. Those are the poetic devices that I hoped you saw in Helena's speech.